it would have been.
Oh,
But
there
Hello,
we
everybody. We were just talking about how my thing kept telling me that it was having trouble with the internet connecting. Welcome. How are you? As you can see, I'm in my Christmas sweater. I've got my hot cocoa. We have a lovely tree behind me, and I have my wonderful guest. And I'm here to read to you all about a town called Christmas. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. These lovely ladies have been, when I tell you, my ride or die. Like they have stayed many a night listening to this and directing me and telling me all the good, the bad, the stuff that made them want to reach to the computer and slap me. And so I was, and what Esther was doing, shaking me. Well, how would you do that? But I'm so glad that they're here for this first reading, and I want them to tell you all about their lovely selves and why this story means something to them. Anything, everything, whatever it does. So I'm gonna let them introduce themselves, starting with Des La 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 La.
Hello, friends. I am Desiree or Des la 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 la, and it's good. I am excited to be here. I'm going to mostly talk about Tiffany because that's what we're here for, and she's amazing. And this story has been just such a treat and a delight to just see it come to life and be a part of just seeing it come to life in the end. And I adore how much heart this story has. It's going to hit you in the feels. Every story is unique and but ties in together beautifully. So I'm excited, and yeah, here we go.
Hi for tonight and December nights. I'm Epiphany Mary Andujar, aka Esther Marie Andujar. And I'm also gonna only talk about Tiffany because this is her night. She worked so much for this beautiful collection of short stories that are like they will pull your heartstrings and warm your hearts. Like this is the Christmas tree that you all been waiting for. So head over to her coffee, hit that membership, and enjoy the holidays with her stories.
hello, I'm JC. For the month of December, I am Jolly JC Christmas, and I too am also going to talk about how wonderful and amazing Tiffany is, and how wonderful this collection of short stories is because it cheered me up. And it will make you, if you're feeling down, this is the story you want to listen to. And they tug at your heartstrings. You will definitely have a favorite character. I won't tell you who mine is, but there will definitely be a favorite character among these this town full of wonderful characters, and they're rich, and they you almost forget that they're just characters in the story. They feel real, and I love this collection of stories so much. And yes, as Esther said, make sure you go to Kofi, sign up for a book club, because that's the only way you're going to get to hear the rest of the collection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I am Nia, the Vixen of Fiction. My partner Donner is in the other room so that he won't bark during our reading, and that will stay silent. But I'm on a different device, so I had to rechange my name. So I'm also here to promote Tiffany, who is gracious enough to come hang out when I stream on Tuesday nights. We hang out all night, all week during the evenings, and we've been going over this story. And there were times when she had me a little worried about my favorite character. But it all came together, and I'm so happy. Like I, most of the time when she's reading the stories, I'm just like, just
Mm-hmm.
enjoying it so much. It's such a delight. I'm very happy that she was able to pull it all together, and it's delightful. And I've told her before, it to me, it's like the kind of story that you could read to the whole family. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm thrilled with this.
Aw. I just knew Des was going to tell you how she's streaming right after this, and Esther was going to tell you how she's streaming on Friday nights. And JC has like two different books that you should go check out. And Nia is like streaming tomorrow night, and everybody's great. And y'all just got to okay.
Of
Well, then
course.
I told you all about
This is
them.
your night.
Look, uh,
You're
Esther
yes.
also has a wonderful Kindle Vella. Nia's working on an amazing story that could be a Kindle Vella. I'm going to tell you that, everybody. Because they're all wonderful. All right, so we're going to start this. I'm not going to tell you who the main character is until we get to the end. But it starts off with the first story, which is called The Day I Came Here. I remember the first day that I came to this place, with its one dirt road and a small wood house framed. And already I've messed up. I told
You're
you I was
fine.
going to do this. Okay.
Okay.
I remember the first day that I came to this place, with its one dirt road and small wood framed houses. I was not sure anyone lived in them, they were so run down. The space was barely big enough to be considered anything, let alone a town. But it was more a blip on the map, if that. The mountains off in the distance gave it a majestic feel, but the dense circle of trees surrounding us made it feel very woodsy, almost as if we had gotten lost in a forest somewhere. I was a little bitty thing, no bigger than Alan's hand. He had plucked me up from a farmer's stand about a mile away the day before. Biggest smile I'd ever seen. Paid his few cents and carried me off. I had no clue he was bringing me here, or that one day I would call this place home. The next day, he packed me up all secure in his blanket, and off we went. You see, Alan had this grand plan to propose to Holly, his childhood love, and he wanted to do something different to commemorate the moment. Now I can't tell you why he thought planting a holly tree, was the best idea, but he did. He was always full of ideas like that. He drove some until he reached this here spot, kept me hidden in the blanket as they sat there in the snowy cold eating their lunch, him talking all about his plans for the future. I think I would love to build a house, he told her. Not too big, but big enough for a family. Just how big a family do you want, Mr. Wright? Holly asked in her tinkly voice. Alan laughed a little. Maybe a small houseful. That was his way of avoiding the question. Holly laughed along, and they kept talking. He told her all about his job and how they were grooming him to take over when his boss stepped down. I had no idea what an investment banker was, but he sure sounded awful excited about it. Of course, some of that excitement could have been the ring sitting right next to me. The longer they sat there, the more his nerves got the better of him. Truth be told, I was nervous for him. I listened as he stumbled over a few words here and there and coughed a couple of times so bad Holly actually hit him on the back. He finally reached in, but instead of pulling out that ring, he picked me up and presented me to her like I was the diamond still left waiting. She smiled just as big as he had when he found me and touched his face softly before doing the same to my limbs. Returning to the car, he came back with a shovel and plopped me right down in this here spot. Once I was planted, that boy got down on one knee, his heart pounding so hard I could feel it through the solid ground. Honey, I tell you, Holly was no better. Would you believe she knelt down with him as soon as she figured out what he was about? Alan had to remind her that only he was supposed to be on the ground. She giggled and stood up. He coughed once more and asked her to be his wife, mumbled through half the words. But I figured it didn't matter. Holly was saying yes before he got her full name out. As soon as that ring was on her finger, she threw her arms around his neck, and he swung her back and forth, both grinning so wide it looked like their faces were all smiles and nothing else. And let me tell you, Holly had some lungs. She squealed so loud I knew the people 2 towns over had to hear. Made me laugh right down to my roots. When they got back in the car, I wondered if I would ever see them again. But the following year, they showed up on my birthday with smiles as big as the year before. This time they were dressed all fancy like. He had on his best suit, and she wore about the prettiest white dress I ever saw. They danced right beside me. He kissed her every second he could. I love you so much, Mrs. Wright, he told her, and I love you more, Mr. Wright. If it was possible, her smile grew. Of course, he kissed her once more. They didn't stay long, just long enough to wish me a happy birthday and plant a little bow on my head. After that, they came every year. They never stayed the whole day, but they always made sure to celebrate the anniversary of my birth. They watched me grow from a sapling to a full-blown tree, each time bringing me something special. Another bow, a string of lights, some silver stuff that would have made me sneeze if I had a nose. One year, Alan carved his and Holly's initials in my side. It hurt a little, but I enjoyed feeling like they were part of me. One year, they brought a little thing wrapped so tight it was a wonder that the small bundle could breathe. A few years later, there was another bundle, and a few years after that, a couple more. The little ones would run around laughing and throwing snow at each other. Tickled me so to see how much fun they were having doing something so simple. Those were happy years, the best years, each one special in its own way. Every time they would touch my side, right where Alan had placed their initials before they would go, they would give each other a kiss, say how much they loved one another, and carry the rest of my family back home. It somehow made me feel a part of their celebration. Then came the year I don't talk about, the one I don't like remembering, the year Holly came alone with only the younger ones beside her. The oldest boy was a handsome man. The set of his eyes and the turn of his lips a reminder of Alan when he first picked me up. His arm was around Holly as the whole family knelt beside me. Her weathered hand touched my side. There were no smiles that day. Your father loved this tree. Her aged voice still carried such strength. We know, Ma, the young woman that was the spitting image of Holly said. Did he ever tell you he wished he had built our house out here? She asked the four people around her. Said he would have, if we had, he could have seen our tree every day. That would have been nice, the young man smiled. Yeah, it would have. Her voice caught at the end, and I wished I could wrap my branches around her, tell her how much I, too, wished they had built their house here. It would have been nice to see my parents more than once a year when they visited. Holly opened a small container. It was the first time a small amount of ashes were added to my base, a reminder of the man that had given me life. Her tears mixed with the dirt as the dew from my leaves fell beside her. A couple of years later, the second set of ashes joined his. The four reminders of my parents standing beside me, each touching my side. I'm glad they are together, the youngest one said. Another smiled and caressed my side, right where the initials lay. Together and with their tree. I admit that when they walked away, I thought that was the end, that I wouldn't see my family anymore. But how wrong I was. It seemed a new tradition picked up where the old one might have faded. Each year brought more out to visit, more couples and kids than ever even I could count, each taking time to remember my parents and share part of their lives with me. Every year they brought something to commemorate their visit, and each time they touched those initials before wishing me well and being on their way. Over time, some of my fallen brothers sprung up around me. More buildings brought even more couples. They weren't family, but I welcomed them all the same. My family, each face so like my parents, continued to visit. I look forward to seeing all their faces, old and new. More ashes joined Alan and Holly, and I stood watch over each of them, my thank you for the life they gave me. It took time, but eventually my family did plant their roots in my home. It seemed that while I had been standing guard, a whole town had gone and grew right around me. My family had bought Alan's dream of having me closer to life. My home wasn't a huge place. It wasn't even a small one, but it was a happy place, a special place. And it was a town that welcomed all that passed and invited them to stay. And my family decided to name it after my birthday. A small, homey little place called Christmas. Welcome.
Hey, no matter how many times we hear it, it's like,
No, I have any tissues. Okay.
yeah.
Right? It was so good. Oh,
Oh, let's see.
I swear,
Morgan
every time I
said,
hear it, it feels like I'm hearing it for the first time again.
Yes,
"Oh,
yes.
Peter."
it's so, oh.
Morgan's like, I'm so excited to hear this. Bonnie's
Oh.
like, the listening tree.
That's, she,
Uh-oh, I'm going to need some tissue.
Yeah.
Beautifully done
Oh,
story.
Morgan.
Thank
Oh,
you, Wowza. Tip, that was so great.
wait till
I
you hear the
love
others.
it. You should be so proud of yourself.
Morgan's like,
One
why
of
am I
my
right?
Same, Morgan.
It hits you.
I
Yes.
came in with everybody saying how great it was. I'll catch the replay, of course.
Get some tissues, Eva. Get some
Oh, Eva.
tissues.
Oh. So thank you. In case you have not figured out, it is 12 stories, the 12 days of Christmas, if you will. And each one is narrated by the Christmas tree that stands as guard in the town square or circle. I haven't figured out if it's a circle or square. It's the middle of the town. And it's the holly tree that lives there and tells you all about all the different characters, their lives, their adventures,
All
all
the
the
tea.
fun that they have and the craziness that they get into. Uh,
All the tea.
and it's just a fun little story in a little place. And I have to say, like my other guest people here, uh, these characters are really, I don't know, they've really grown in my heart, and I just love this place so much. We're moving there as soon as we can.
Right? I want to go.
Each getting our own little cabins. Our own little cabins.
Oh, Joanne, hi. Oh, I just finished reading it, but yes, absolutely check.
Please
the
watch the replay.
Sure.
It's
Yes.
worth it. Yes.
Yes.
I love the premise. I hope I
Oh
cry.
my God.
I'm not trying to make everybody cry.
And if not this one, wait till you hear some other ones. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do.
This
I
one
love everybody's proud faces as well. It's so fun.
This
'Cause
one
I
is just like
honestly,
misty.
This
these
is fine,
people,
Joanne.
I feel like they're part of this story. And Laura. I mean, how can I forget? Because Laura has been backstage with us as well. I feel like you guys are a part of this story. Like you're just as much a part of these characters as I am, or Miss Abilene, or any of the rights, or
Oh, Autumn.
all the
Autumn.
people that nobody knows yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many people for you guys to meet. It's so fun. And you start to feel like you're a part of the town and
Yeah.
And you will have a favorite. You will have a favorite.
you get invested in their stories, you get invested in their lives, you want to know more, you want to be there for all the events of their lives. It's amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I literally write fanfic for these characters. I've already told Tiffany.
Oh yeah, I already have my character in mind.
She honestly did. Like, what did she tell me one time? I was one story that's coming up, and I finished reading it, and she was like, "Yeah, see, I need to know what happened here. I need to know how this went down. I need to know this. I need to know." And I was like, "That's like 5 stories."
Just continue
Oh,
them for us.
we've already branched out into a whole nother part of the family tree. But
Just
with
saying.
me, we got next year's stories planned out. Well, we do, not Tiffany. Has to go along
Barrett
with that.
said the
We're
only
trying to
time
convince
I
Tiffany.
submitted a short story to the CGL contest because I would have scored that high. Thank
You did
you.
so really
Although I didn't
good.
at the time, I don't think I had this written when you guys did the CGL contest. So,
But it's
yeah, I
currently
hope you all
running.
No,
the
there's
CGL
another
contest.
contest in December.
It's coming up in.
Ah.
Well, I think
Between
they're going to
January,
announce it in December, but I don't think the submissions are due. I hope we get so many submissions they regret them.
I love it.
Oh,
Yes.
want to know more? Oh, that's sweet.
No, it really is important, guys, because the rest of these stories will be only privileged to those who are members within her Ko-fi. So you definitely want to sign up so you don't miss out on the rest of these stories, because truly they are fantastic, heartwarming.
If
They
you
give
like the
you
one that you
all the
just
Christmas
heard,
stories.
if you like the one you just heard, they get so much better.
Yeah. The link, I just posted the
for
link on
sharing
the chat.
my Ko-fi
Yes,
page.
that's
Yes,
important.
I am going to be doing the rest of them every day until December 23rd. I will be releasing a new story. I don't know if they will be live or if they will be read live or if I will be pre-recording them. Right now, it looks like everybody is
You
in the
decide.
poll. It looks like everybody's okay with either one or live for sure. The only reason that it's in the air, originally I was just going to do them live, but I'm not positive about time frames for everybody and what would work really well to do live. And then I was going to pre-record them, and I seem to be having some recording and editing issues, which kind of gets on my nerves. So it could be a combination of both. I don't know. It depends on how I get everything together. But I will definitely, they will be up on Ko-fi for my book club members. So if you want to go support, it is $4 a month. You could even just do December if you want. I mean, you'd miss all the fun backstage stuff next year that I have coming, because these lovely ladies, especially that Jolly one down there in the bottom, has already decided that there's stuff coming next year. So
Mhm.
I'm hoping
Yeah.
she's going to help me write that.
Yeah, Jolly JC Christmas to cover like the manager position
Yeah.
for Tiffany's holiday writing career.
I just
Yes.
really love this
So
collection, and I really love the characters, and I love the town, and I wish it was a real town that I could go visit and live in. So, that's all.
yeah,
So
it's
I need to know
really
more about the other
yeah,
sides of the family, and you'll find out when you come. When you visit a town
yeah.
called
You
Christmas.
won't want it to
By
end.
joining Tiffany's Covey starting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Going to
Yes,
there
the
will
whose
be,
story is tomorrow?
I do know tomorrow's will be live,
okay.
But
and
whose
it will
story
be,
is tomorrow? Give a little.
tomorrow's story is Jasper and his son Ernest and
Ooh,
the Coles,
You'll go meet them tomorrow, friends.
who
Yeah.
are an interesting few people.
yeah.
Jasper
Leave
would
it
be
up
the
there.
great grandson of Alan that we met briefly, Alan and Holly that we met briefly in this story. So, so yes, he will be there, and Ernest is his son. Uh, so I guess he would be the great great grandson.
Yeah.
Uh,
Great, great, great.
but it will be read live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central.
Perfect.
Okay. That is
Yes. Well, because I almost forgot. I was like, no, the writer's room starts at 11. So yes, it will be available tomorrow, 10 a.m. Central, right before the writer's room, where you can join myself, Barrett, and Morgan as we talk about Morgan's release coming on the 16th. So
As in
definitely
Friday
join
this
for
week.
that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yes, I will be. So absolutely. Oh, you guys are so funny. Eva is like, I'm going to go ahead and rewind and listen. And Barrett goes, be kind, rewind.
what?
Yeah,
Oh,
I love it.
blockbuster. Ooh, okay, flashback.
I love it.
Oh, you're so funny. He said, I got some talented co-hosts. The writer's room for Morgan's book tomorrow will be on her channel, so
Yay!
you can find us there. And in about a half an hour, we will be on Dez's channel streaming
Half an
and
hour.
writing.
Oh,
And
Hour
an
and a half.
Hour and a
and a
half.
Hour and a half.
hour and a time.
no, I
It's a,
don't.
it's a funny
Time
thing.
is like a weird
You're
concept
not, you're,
right
you're
now.
not your
Time
friend
is
today.
time
Because
is a
this every
mystery.
time I think I can tell
It's an
time.
illusion.
And
Apparently, I can't.
Barrett, they hang out with you because you're amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, for
So
real. Don't even.
What?
Don't.
You
Yeah.
know you're
Oh,
fabulous.
he says
very
I
nice
have
of
a
him.
talented co-host, and he said I don't know why they hang out with me. Yeah,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah. Okay.
You want us to start singing your praises? We will. Mm-hmm.
We can.
Yeah, you know we can.
Okay, so when is Desert Stream? Because obviously I don't know what o'clock
8
is.
o'clock. 8 o'clock.
8 Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
Eastern, 7 your time, Tiff. 7 your time.
Okay. I'd have
So
been
you,
sitting here
we
for
got
an
some,
hour. That's
we
great.
got some time. We got
We
some
got
time.
time.
It's
We got
Monday.
time
That
to
is the
eat.
excuse. It's Monday. As Des would say, it's the
That
Mondayest of
was our
Mondays.
intro. That's what I originally thought, was that I was giving us a break between, but I thought it was a longer break because these lovely ladies also know that up until about an hour and a half ago, I thought that this was at 4 o'clock.
We're
Even
like,
though
wait,
it is
what?
my own stream and I did schedule it. That's why I'm like, clocks, obviously, time. I just don't know what any of it is.
It's okay.
Does anybody have the link to Dez's stream?
Aw.
To this, 1 second.
Esther can look.
Esther's
Esther's on it.
Magnificent Epiphany Mary.
Esther.
Yeah,
Queen.
Epiphany
Give me-
Mary.
Give me a
We'll
sec.
get that link for you guys.
me a
And
sec.
hopefully
You tell
I
them,
will
Morgan.
see you guys on Dez's and then tomorrow in my book club. And then
Thanks,
in the
friend.
writer's room. And then for Nia.
Yes.
It's a busy
Busy
day.
week. I'm
Oh, yeah.
really ready all week, so it's going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
I
Thank you,
know.
friends.
And I think originally I did say that I was doing the Notion second part on Tuesday. I am either moving it to Wednesday or Thursday now.
That may
So
be good. That may be good.
yeah.
I would say yeah.
Stacey,
Stay tuned. It's a little crazy of a week, so
Just
stay
make
tuned.
sure you have time to be there for my stream. Just you know.
Oh no, it'll be in the afternoon. It'll be like 3-ish
Okay.
Central. So yeah.
I
So
don't
yeah,
want you to
trying
run
to figure
yourself
that
right.
out. Too late.
All the links are in the chat. So Dessa's stream is in the chat. The writer's room for tomorrow is in the chat.
You
Coffee
forgot
link for
me.
Tiffany's in the chat earlier. Can I? Jeez.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry.
this is all that
I'm gonna have
backstage.
to. I'm
I'm
gonna have
sorry.
to
You
carry.
built yourself up here, miss. So high expectations. High expectations.
you set the bar too high for yourself.
Oh, we love you. We love you.
Okay, so I'm gonna give Epiphany Mary, otherwise known as Esther Mary or Marie,
Mhm.
time
Okay,
to drop Nia's link, and then we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. So everybody can have a moment and a breath before Desert Stream, which is not in a half an hour. It's in an hour and a half.
Yes.
Yep.
What are we doing? We'll see.
You know,
When we get there.
you know
You
what would
know.
help if I got a watch that went with my outfit. Maybe I should
Oh,
invest in
I
that.
don't wear
Maybe I
a
would
watch.
know time.
wasn't your phone near you all the time though?
You know
There's
what?
that.
Don't ruin.
I mean, yes, the watch.
mean-
Totally.
I mean,
Ignore the phone. Ignore your phone.
Christmas is
You
coming
get
up.
more
So.
Oh, okay, because it is the 12 days before Christmas, but technically it's 13 days till Christmas. Just so you guys know, I am starting today because I don't want to like bother anybody or be encroaching on anyone's Christmas plans. So I did not want to read on Christmas Eve. So there you go. But I definitely, even though I'm not sure on the other 11 stories or 10 stories rather, I do know that the last story will be live in my Ko-fi book club, so that if you have questions, concerns, comments, things you want to tell me, we will be there together to have fun and communicate and have a blast. So I will hopefully see you guys then, and until then, bye.